All right, guys, since I still have a long drive ahead of me here to Pittsburgh, I figured I'd make a little video about my thoughts on the 5150 50-watt series because I love gear and talking about gear, even when nobody's listening, which is most of the time. So, hopefully you guys get some sort of entertainment benefit out of this or some information. So, I've been a long time fan of the 5150. That was the 6505 was the amp that I used for years and years. Before I really started getting into gear and different amps and trying out different tones and stuff like that, the 5150 was just, or the 6505, I'm sorry, was just what I had. So that's been the sound that I've been used to for so long. So anyways, I kind of got away from that for a long time because so many people use them. I play in a couple hardcore bands and now in Bushido code, but if there's one thing I can guarantee you at every hardcore metal show, it's that one person will have a 5150 in one of the bands that's playing. So they're popular for a reason, but I wanted to kind of get away from them and carve my own tone out, as every guitarist does. They want to stand out in one way or another. So I started to search, bought a ton of amps, still have a lot of them, found a lot of really cool amps in the process. That's how I found my Splon Quick Rod and my Competition and all that stuff, which are my go-to amps for everything Bushido code. I had a couple Friedmans. I got the JJ100. I didn't love that. I sold it. I had my Diesel Herbert, which I really do like. I still have that, and I'll probably always have it. What else? My VHT Deliverance and my VHT Pitbull Classic 50, still have those, still love those. Whole bunch of stuff. A lot of modded Marshall type stuff, which doesn't really work for the downtune stuff all that well, in my opinion. Bands like Hatebreed might disagree with me, but that's okay. So anyways, yeah, I got away from the 5150 for a long time. Recently, my band tracked our full-length album, and I wanted something to complement the Splon that was a little bit more modern, had a little bit more top-end bite and a little bit more low-end, like sub-low and punch. So I used my 5150 350 watt that I've had. Forgot how good that thing sounded. It tracked great, mixed great with the Splon, and my guitar tones on the album are killer. I'm really happy with them. Thanks to Shane at Cerebral Audio in Pittsburgh, who recorded our full length for us. He did an absolutely killer job on not only the tracking but the mixing. It's just really high quality product that dude puts out. He knows his stuff, easy to work with. It was awesome. So anyways, that's enough of that plug, but really that kind of reignited my love for 5150s. And I had not looked at the EL34 model because the blue channel is what I like on the 5150 50 watts. Blue channel on the EL34 in stock form, in my opinion, is poo-poo doo-doo. It sucks. It's muffled. It's flabby. I think they were trying to go for a more classic tone, but that doesn't make sense to me because a vintage Super Lead does not sound muffled at all. It's super bright. It's super tight. Same with the JCM 800, a 2203. That's a very tight, bright amp. It is not muffled or, subdued in the highs whatsoever. That thing will cut your head off if you have it up too loud, which is basically as soon as you turn it on, it's too loud for most applications these days, which sucks. But anyways, I don't know what they were trying to do. In my opinion, they ruined the blue channel of the amp, which is the best channel of the amp on the EL34. So I was never that interested in it until I saw a video for the C137 mod and a couple posts on a forum where people basically say it brings it back to blue channel spec on the 51. Too many fucking numbers, Jesus Christ. The 6L6 50 watt, which is what I love. Clip the C137 and you basically have the same blue channel as the 6L6 model, but with EL34 power section. How cool is that, right? How many years have people been modding their 5150s to put EL34s in them? Long time. Something I always wanted to try too. So anyways, I ended up finding a good deal on one and buying it, doing the C137 mod, and I love it. Used it this weekend at practice. It's a killer sounding amp. Once that mod is done to it for my personal tastes. I also recently bought the Stealth 50 watt. I bought it brand new, which is really weird for me because I don't buy anything new. I'm super, super cheap when it comes to gear and really cheap when it comes to everything else. So I really wanted it. It was on back order everywhere when I decided that I really wanted it, and I just happened to find one in stock at a seller on Reverb. Managed to get the price down a little bit and get around the tax, paying the online tax because I bought it out of state, so it worked out perfectly. Got that in, and guess what? I got all three in the same room together. They all sound like 5150s. In the grand scheme of things, not a lot of amps sound like a 5150. There's not a vast difference between the three. There are differences, but they're not crazy. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, the Stealth crushes the other ones. The other ones are obsolete. Throw them in the trash, you know, take a shit on them and leave them behind, never think about them again. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but that's just the internet. The internet, you know, I don't know what it is. These guys make up things and then everybody parrots it. Or some dude really did thought that it crushed the other ones in their personal opinion. I don't know why, because they're damn near the same amp. But, you know, and then they posted that on a forum, and then everybody took it as gospel and, you know, parroted it and repeated it until that's what the amp is. It crushes all other forms of 5150 and leaves them obsolete. No, man. It's the same amp with a little bit of a tweak to the EQ. There's no other way to put it. It's a little bit more low-mid based. It's got more low-mid clarity, which I do like. It's a little bit more aggressive in the upper mids, which I do like. But it's the same character. It's got the same kind of low-end sagging compression. It's a very tight amp, but there is still that little, you know, hint of 5150 sag there. It's got the same midsection. It's just not quite as congested as it is on the original. It's not quite as spiky as it is on the EL34. But it's very, very similar. Before I was doing the YouTube channel not that long ago, I put some clips up on my SoundCloud and put it up for people on Rig Talk and 7-string, playing the same riff with the same amp through the same cab, same boost, all that crap. And the general consensus was the main differences could be dialed in or out using the EQ on the amp, and I don't really disagree with that. You're not going to get the clarity that the Stealth has in the low mids out of the other two amps with EQ tweaks, but you're going to get 99% of the way there. So anytime somebody says that one amp crushes another when they're in the same realm, you got to take it with a massive grain of salt, man. Tone is really subjective. I've found that musicians are morons. You know, they are either really flaky or really the opposite of flaky, super opinionated and stick to their guns. You know what I mean? And they hear something a certain way, and that's absolutely fine. But, you know, if you don't agree with them or the way that they hear things, you're a moron or you're wrong. I just gotta say, man, I can make almost every amp that I own sound good for me for what I want to do, and I really don't think that any of them crush any of the others. They're just different flavors of something similar. If I really thought one amp crushed and stood head and tails above the rest, I wouldn't own as many amps as I own, that's for sure, because there would be no point to have them. So that's my opinion, you know what I mean? I try to tell people, take everything with a grain of salt. I've had a lot of people hit me up asking me how I like the Stealth versus the other ones, and they almost seem kind of disappointed when I don't say that, you know, you hit it and you just hit a chord on the Stealth and, you know, everybody around you shits their pants and, you know, all the girls get naked and all that shit. You know, the clouds open up and God comes down and shakes your hand for having such a great tone. It doesn't happen, man. It's not that different of an amp. It's great, but so are the other ones. So just take those opinions with a grain of salt when you hear them. You may love it, and it may crush the other ones in your opinion. I'm not saying that can't be the case. I'm just saying they're really not all that different. And they're all great. There's no reason to run out and sell your EL34 or your 6L6 for $500 to try to fund a Stealth tomorrow. You might be disappointed. That's all I'm saying. I think all three of them are worth their weight. They're the best value amps on the market, in my opinion. I don't care where they're made. They seem to be reliable for me. I've never had an issue with one. You get 3 very usable channels on each amp, a decent effects loop, you know, certain ones have different features than the others, but overall, you're getting a lot of features for your money. So I don't really see much to complain about there. You're getting a killer amp for a great price with a lot of flexibility. So anyways, I don't think any of them crush any of the other ones. I think they're just three slightly different takes on the same thing, and all three of them are good in their own ways. So that's it. Appreciate you guys listening. If you stuck with me through all this stuff, let me know what you want to hear. I mean, if you don't like listening to me talk, fucking tell me. That's fine. I'm just trying to think of ways to kind of grow my YouTube channel a little bit, and give you guys information that you want to hear and videos that you want to see, because ultimately I'm doing this for everybody else out there. It's fun for me to throw these videos together, but you know what I mean? It's no fun if people don't hear it and get enjoyment out of it or get good information out of it. So I've got a ton of amps. I plan on putting a list up on Facebook soon and seeing what amps you guys really want me to demo next. And we'll go from there. We'll see what other kind of content that I can dream up. I'm not the most creative guy in the world, but you know what I mean? We might be able to come up with some cool stuff that's entertaining and informs you guys at the same time. I probably seem a little dry on camera. It's because I'm not fully comfortable talking to a camera yet. I'm still getting used to this shit, so bear with me. I'll probably open up a little bit more as these videos go on. Hopefully the audio-video production gets a little bit better as the videos go on too. But anyways, yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate all the new subscribers and everything. Hope you stick with me, and hope you like cool fucking amps, because I got a lot of stuff to put up here in the near future. Thanks.